Hello again, YouTube. Welcome to part 2 of my Crawl Let's Play. I thought I would just launch this from the main menu so you see if you do web tiles. Trunk is what's the word for the newest edition that gets pulled nightly from the release, so I didn't bring that up in the last video, so I thought I would. Like, if you go and download Dungeon Crawl now, I'll be playing this, and we're playing this, and this has a lot of cool stuff this doesn't have yet, but it will when it's 0.14. So keep that in mind. If you want to play the absolute newest version of Crawl like I'm doing, you've got to go play on one of the online servers. This is the URL for the one I'm using. There are a few others. This one I think is in Florida, and it just happens to be the least laggy for me. So yeah, so let's go into Trunk, and it's gonna do this because it updated last night. And yes, we'll transfer, and the transfer was successful. And we have this dude, and now we're back where we were standing. I'm gonna move my mouse away. Okay, so first off, before I play it all, first off I want to do a quick recap. We got the 2 pips of piety. We're a hunter. We have alright kind of stuff. It's only D4. We don't expect any miracles. We've already got resist mutation, which is quite nice. We've ID'd potions of mutations, which we're happy about. We got cloak of poison resistance. We're just sort of chugging along. We're gonna drop that morning star now. We just didn't make sure a monster didn't use it. But I talked about, brought this up in the thread if I wanted some feedback, and I got a couple key pieces of feedback. One was just the mouse. I forget about it when I focus on the game. I'll try to always remember to shove the mouse to the side. Another was to make sure that I describe hotkeys as I use them. I've been doing an okay job, but like he mentioned, it took me like 3 or 4 times with Control G before I actually remembered it. So I'll just work on that. But the big one someone said was about using look. So if you hit X, the look command, or actually I think it would have to be the Shift X, the big look command, you can hit the down staircase key to cycle between down staircases. I guess I never even said the down staircase key technically. It's just the to go down a staircase, it's the greater than symbol, and up a staircase is less than. They kind of look like, like their arrows going the right way, so it's an older way convention. Just so I forgot to mention it. Unless you do this, and then here's the cool thing: if you hit Enter, you'll go to that staircase. We'll kill this kobold. It'll go to that staircase and not bring you down. And for the reason why that's cool, we need to go to this kind of lengthy degree. Oh yeah, also, these silhouettes are because they were there at a point when I lost line of sight. He's dead. There's not another orc priest running around. This is the same one we've killed, we're virtually certain. It's just like this little crawl reminder that we left an orc priest there at a point in the game and we haven't seen it since. Okay, so here is the kind of lengthy digression on staircases. This is a very important one. Pay attention. So remember when I said that stealth is a very important skill in Crawl, even like without sneak attacks in the mix, just because being stealthy is important? It's because whether or not a monster's paying attention to you is a big deal. Now, no monster knows about you before you're there. It sounds trivial, but it actually is quite relevant. So if you go down a staircase, you kind of get this free turn. When you walk down, no monster does anything about you being there, and you get the first shot, and then they'll all swarm you. So let's say I go down a staircase, and then I see a bunch of monsters. I'm like, ah! I panic. I go up the staircase. Well, they get a chance to hear me as I go up the staircase. Remember, monsters get a turn. That's why they can hit you when you're near. So obviously they can't hit you again if they're not next to you when you go up. But they'll know you were there, and then what they can do is they can start congregating around the staircase. Let's say I go down the staircase again. I don't get that free turn again. They have been alerted to me now. I can walk down, bonk, bonk, bonk. They just whack me on the head and I die. Alright? Now that's not a big problem. If you see a bad staircase, the trick in Crawl is to just go back up and remind yourself not to use the staircase and find another one. In every Crawl level, there's going to be 3 normal staircases up and 3 normal staircases down, as well as any of the trapdoors and shafts. If you think there's fewer than 3 of one of them, it's because part of the level's locked to you. Occasionally, you'll get these chambered levels where, like, say you have to go down to then go back up on one of the different staircases to get to this little island that you can't reach normally. It used to be a lot more common. Now it's decently rare, except in Orc and Slime. I believe the level code does that quite a bit. Normally it's not too common, but it can happen. But here's the point. There are sometimes they'll be really close. And in fact, sometimes there'll be these levels. I call them arena levels. I don't know if there's an official Crawl term. I call them arena levels. And what an arena level is you'll go down, and what you'll see is 3 of these up staircases all next to each other in a line. Okay, all this, like these 3 staircases scattered around the dungeon, they all funnel to the same spot. So let's suppose I go down this arena staircase, okay? I see a lot of bad monsters. Now let's say in a moment of stupidity and weakness, I panic. I run up the stairs. I've lost that game. Because as soon as I go down the stairs, there's going to be more monsters surrounding that arena staircase than I'm equipped to handle. My best chance at survival in that situation, unless I can find a shaft to get me to somewhere else in that level that isn't swarmed, is to just walk down and unleash hell and try to use the distance that they're not all surrounding me. What this means, in crawl terms, is when you walk down a staircase, you need to be prepared to do battle. Because sometimes you'll get a situation where fighting now is your absolute best chance, and if you try to walk away and come back, it'll be way worse. This is very important because most of good crawl play is the opposite of this. Most of good crawl play is the point that you can always come back later. You can always defer a fight. Make that your first instinct. But with staircases, the math's a little different. Sometimes you want to just go up and find a different down staircase, but sometimes you just need to kill them now, and you need to be ready for that. This isn't as much of a deal for us because, like, what does that mean for us? We want to have our bow drawn and not our whip, so we don't need to spend that half turn switching if we need to start shooting. That's all it is. But there are a lot of buffs you can cast in this game, and if you've got them, you really want to do them before you go on a staircase. If you've got haste, repel missiles, and, I don't know, like, you can get a freezing weapon. You want to cast all three of those, and then walk down the stairs, because you might need to fight for your life to keep that staircase clean. And if you're one of those characters, it's very, very important that when you auto-travel to a staircase, you don't use Control-G, like I've been using to go down. You use Shift-X, or not Shift, yeah, Shift-X, I hit S. That was why I was confused. You hit Shift-X, you pick a staircase by hitting the staircase symbol. You hit Enter, and you walk. I'm trying to show an example. Stupid game. And you walk to it, and it doesn't bring you down. And you get that chance to cast your buffs first. So that, super important. Make sure you have that down. And I think we're gonna. It's always awkward when like you take a day break from crawling, you come back to your character. I always kind of like do a roll where I look at all my stuff. I know from the perspective of you, the YouTuber, you can watch these like back to back, no problem. As me, the human being, cut me some slack. I need to pop in and remind myself of what's going on just to make sure I don't make a stupid mistake right early on before I'm warmed up. So we're gonna go down the staircase. Level 5. We see another identify scroll, which is quite nice. Like I said, we're only saving one, and we're going to use them on potions. And actually, I had one spare already that I just missed, so let's do that. Oh, I hit the wrong scroll. I read something by mistake. Well, now we know we have amnesia. That will let us forget spells when we learn them. We don't have any spells right now, so it did nothing. Forgetting spells is nice because spells, you have spell levels equal to, like, I think it's your level plus your spell casting skill. And maybe your int gets thrown in there somehow too. And so, it's a big deal to have amnesia sometimes. So we're going to use this identify scroll on, let's do these gluggy pink potions. Okay, those are heal wounds, and I'm reasonably sure we saw grinder drink curing. I think we have curing identified. We can check that actually. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. We found we can just quaff ID from here on out. We've hit mutation and Q mutation. By the way, Dungeon 5, entirely too early for this shit. Don't be playing like, I haven't found Q mutation by Dungeon 8. I'm so unlucky. No, I'm just freakishly lucky right now. Also, notice we get the multi-identify. I think ID scrolls will ID one thing 80% of the time, two things 10%, and three things 10%. So we also got a triple identify, which is great. No. Oh, okay, we saw Grinder drink it, but it didn't ID us curing because it just healed him, but it could have been heal wounds as well, maybe? I don't actually know why I didn't, but that's why. Alright, now we're going to teach you about another crawl thing. Oh, kind of. So crawl, you often want to make stashes in crawl. Stash is just where you leave stuff on the ground, basically. And because nothing like will happen to it normally, but as we saw like with that Morningstar, monsters can pick it up. So people like to make stashes in lair, because the lair of beasts is full of animals, and animals don't have hands. So, no elephant is going to be like, haha, he left that Morningstar of Holy Wrath on the ground. I'm going to put that shit in my trunk, go Dumbo on his ass, And there's a hotkey to make waypoints. You'll make them in various places, but your stash is the biggest one. Your stash is where you leave stuff on the ground so you can fast travel to it later. And, so Control W is waypoints. The reason I bring this up is because ice attacks shatter potions. And as I explained last time, Q mutation potions are worth their weight in goddamn gold. It's entirely possible these two Q mutation potions are a Q mutation potion allowance for the entire game. That could very easily happen. We don't want them to break to ice. However, if we just leave them on the ground here, a monster might drink them. So here's what we're going to do. We've cleaned here pretty well. And we're going to close these doors, so it's a little less likely to just wander on these. Control W1. We're going to drop our Q mutation potions so they don't break to an ice attack. And because we're doing this now, we can also drop other stash stuff. This is really early to make a stash. I'm doing it just for the Cure Mute, but now that I've got the Cure Mute, I may as well think like Amnesia. I'm going to, because scrolls will burn for fire the same way potions will shatter to ice. And we don't need Amnesia till we have spells to cast. We can drop that too. I don't have any conservation on this guy right now. There are demon spawn mutations that will give you... So conservation means you're really good at protecting your items. You're good at protecting potion from ice attacks 90% of the time. When they would break, they don't. And 90% of the time a scroll would burn, it doesn't. Demon spawn can get each half of those as separate mutations. If you get really used to fire or ice, you get good at protecting those things. We don't have any of those conservations, so yeah, we need to do this. We're going to drop one scroll of Remove Curse, just in case. To do that, you hit D for drop, and then you hit the number. In this case, we hit 1. And now notice it has that number sign instead, and it's only 1 turn on the top. That's because we're only dropping 1. I want to keep this Amulet of Stasis in case we find one of those cool teleport traps with gluten that I was telling you about. We want to keep this wand too, even though it's already pretty well used up, because there's a scroll called Recharging that recharges wands, and it's useful to have a wand on hand to identify it. So we're going to drop Mutation because we're almost probably not going to want to drink that. If we happen to get really lucky and we find a lot of Cure Mutation, like more than we expected to, sometimes you can do this really dumb thing called Mutation Roulette, where you just drink Mutation, and if it's good, you keep it, and if it's bad, you Cure Mute it. Because like I said, Cure Mute can't hit our Demon Spawn mutations. They're just a part of who we are. Almost certainly not going to do that, but like it's not like it takes that much effort to save these mutation potions. I think we're going to keep the rest of this. I often drop Might in my stash because it's kind of just like if I really need a marginal advantage late game. The benefits on Potions of Might are kind of wonky. It's strength and physical power. I mean, it'll help a bit, but it's not like it gives you a ton of damage to have a ton of strength, like we said when we were talking about what to level. So, and I'll usually drop spare healing potions, but this is a good number to like, I don't want to drop any of these. This might be like we need to drink all of them to save our life. So, but there. But now, if we later use that same Shift G that we were using to go down a floor automatically, now we notice we can hit list waypoints, and here it says D4. So I just hit 1 at that screen, I'll go to my stash. Which is really good, because that's where Qmute is. And like when I establish a real stash in there, I'm probably going to go back for that potion and move that to my lair stash. I'm actually pretty happy about this Ice Beast, because he has an ice attack and he breaks potions. And if he gets in melee range of us and like hits us, then oh my god, well, I will be vindicated as dick. My first fucking enemy. Alright, so this is what I was talking about. The kind of anti-synergy with Moklib and Hunter. Oh, there we go. That was polite. Thanks, buddy. So we're going to just try to... Alright, we're just going to do this. He's hitting me, the Ice Beast. Okay. I think that confusion or that question mark, I think that means he's thinking about getting away or something. Yeah, or he was going to aggro to the Lemure or something. I don't know exactly what it means, but I've just noticed if an enemy has a question mark, like, because, like, when they shouldn't be confused, just de facto, you can walk away from them. Someone who's played more Crawl will hopefully watch this video and yell at me and say it's so obvious, you idiot. Okay, we didn't have any potions break, but we were in melee range of an Ice Beast for a while, so I stand by it. That may have been necessary to save our Qmute. Crimson Imps are little bastards because they can pick shit up. So, like, no, oh, this is a Dagger of Draining. Draining used to suck a lot, now it sucks quite little. So here's what Draining used to do. You lose experience. That's really awful. Now what it does is it drains your skills. So notice how a bunch of these skills are magenta. It drains our skills until we get experience, but it doesn't tax that experience. It's like until you need to get X amount of experience, depending on how drained you were, to negate the drain. But it doesn't, like, you don't lose any of that experience. That experience still goes to you normally, and it still raises those skills. You just don't see the full impact of it until you've gotten enough, if that makes sense. Like, it's a prerequisite to remove the drain, but it's not a cost to remove the drain. So it's actually quite tame. Alright. Crimson Imps, if they don't have any wands or items, then they're kind of infamous for this. They're really hard to kill, especially for some casters, because they are immune to a lot of like necromancy and stuff. This is a kind of fun trick, by the way. We're kind of hoping to miss this Kobold and then hit the Ice Beast, but no, we hit the Kobold. Just because arrows go past, you can sometimes try to get popcorn in front of a... Where it gets even better, if we find a Book of Translocations, we can get this spell called Portal Projectile, which gives our ranged attacks smite targeting, like the Orc Priest had, and that's really good. Hi, buddy. And then that keep a weak one in front trick works really well. Here it just, you can kind of hope to miss and get a couple free hits off. My cat is on me, so you might hear him meow a bit. But anyway, back to my digression about imps. There's kind of an infamous thing where, so like, you're a necromancer. Since imps are undead, there's a lot they can just resist flat out, and they can heal themselves and they can blink away. So they're almost impossible for you to kill, but they also do very little damage if they don't happen to have a weapon or a wand. So, what does this mean? You've got this opponent who's really, really hard to kill, but you can take a lot of hits from them. So here's what people do, like necromancers. This is one of the funniest things in Crawl. They just keep like, hey, look at me, and they hang out by a staircase and they just kind of mock the imp till the imp goes next to them to punch them. You go up the staircase, then they come up with you. Then you just randomly slap fight each other until eventually his RNG decides it's time for him to blink, and you go like, see you later, fucker, and you just walk down the staircase. It's called imp parking. It's so fun. You just bring him up a floor and then leave. Although you have to be careful, like in our situation, if you had your stash on the previous floor. All right, we can now summon a lesser servant of Mokleb. We have 3 piety. What kind of failure rate are we talking? Already at 3% for both of those. Fucking give credit to our invo, 3.5, and we're drained, so it's actually a little bit higher. So now we can summon a dude, but like I was saying earlier, pretty much from here on out, stuff's going to cost piety, so we can't spam it. Like, Mokleb will start to dislike us if we use it a lot, so we have to use it sparingly, but don't use it too sparingly, because you also need to live. Oh, wait, you see this message? All the chunks brought it away. Oh, never mind, no. I think that means it was rotten, I couldn't have eaten. Oh, these are centaurs. Centaurs are notoriously dangerous because they're also archers, and as you've just noticed, archery is fucking grand. But we're archers, so it's probably fine. As good as it is, I don't think he can beat us. So we're just gonna... We can't really help, though. Fuck you, you killed our friend. So this is a situation where we could summon if we needed to, but we don't. I may as well try to... I got plenty of food in my pocket, so I'm gonna just use my minor destructions now like I was saying I would. I feel slightly more hungry. Hopefully that just means I go hungry in time to eat the, eat the other chunks that I have. In fact, it can be a trick. Oh, god damn it. I guess I'll just... No, they didn't even leave a corpse. Sometimes you'll want to go hungry to make yourself fuller. Like, if you're right on that borderline, it can happen where you're like, well, this chunk's going to rot, but if I use some hunger effects, then I'll be able to eat the chunk, and then I'll actually be fuller than if I hadn't used this hunger-raising spell. I got 2 chunks of goblin flesh? Sure. Meow, meow. Bonk. Really? I got an imp for that. That's Phaedos. That's actually one of the gods I really like worshipping on Demon Spawn Hunters, is Phaedos Madash. Because he's the plant god, and right at 0 piety even, he lets you shoot through plants. And that's really cool. Mutation? Mutation? No. But our life force feels restored. We got enough now where we got over that draining hump from that dagger earlier. I should have done that trick. Oh, we're poisoned. Fuck you. But we have enough health. We should be. This is taking me way too long to kill him, though. Bonk. 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 Eat that goblin flesh. We did get there in time. Sleep until we're better. But, you know what we're going to do right now? Because I don't want to screw this up twice. We're going to take that dagger of draining. Not to use it. That's why I didn't grab it in the first place. Oh yeah, another control F trick. If you hit enter, you get the same result again. It's like, because our fast travel stopped because we were hungry, this lets us get back to it. We're going to carry this for this level to not be dumb. Jelly! Jelly, 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 jelly. I can talk a lot about jelly. Here's the rule about fighting jellies in melee. Fucking don't. They have corrosion attacks, like the first ones. They corrode your shit. It's awful. It'll make like your weapons and stuff have minuses. Go to the wiki for the full story on corrosion. It's actually kind of complicated, but just think of it this way. First off, they corrode your shit. Secondly, their acid attack happens when you hit them in melee. So they can do more damage than is listed on the knowledge bot because you attack yourself on the jelly on your turn in melee. Alright? So, fucking beware jellies. You need to fight them at range. A lot of characters, like if I play a troll, I'll carry like a sling, pretty much just for jellies. However, it also sucks to be an archer against a troll, because... Or, archer against a troll. No, that's awesome, because you just shoot the troll. Sucks to be an archer against a jelly as well, because they eat arrows. Like, they eat stuff on the ground and heal. So they'll eat your arrows, and then you lose them. So this is, thankfully, one time when we're actually pretty heavily vindicated in our decision to worship Mocklib. Jellies are slightly slower than you. It's not nearly as easy to get rid of them as the worms, but I thought jellies were slightly slower than you. Oh yeah, see, we were splashed with acid and the acid burned. So the acid did extra damage, but it didn't corrode our gear, so we're fine. Also worth noting, when we hit, I think, rank 3 of iridescent scales, we will have that resistance to corrosion. I thought we were faster than jellies. But now, once again, time to show off. So the speed of a normal dude is 10. Yeah, jellies are 10. I really thought we were faster than jellies. More you know. I was going to stay in melee and just try to Zerg him really fast. Hope we don't get an acid attack like last time. It is hard to hurt a jelly with an acid attack. It's because they're made of acid. It's like they try to kill us by slapping hamburgers on us. There'd just be more meat we absorb into our bodies. Alright. Red potion. Ogres! Ogres are another kind of checkpoint. You know how I was saying, like, orc beasts are a checkpoint, not an early game checkpoint like start of game in the same way adders are, but early game, like, they're kind of just this threat. Ogres are another early game checkpoint. They're big. They hit like motherfuckers. They do lots and lots of damage, but they can't dodge for shit. They're a checkpoint for many a meleeer, like a melee hybrid trying to get online. Guess who they're not a checkpoint for? Have you guessed yet? It's us. We're level 9. This is the annoyance of imps in action. This is going to take forever, but I'm not going to justify them with arrows anymore. I don't know why I justified those previous imps with arrows. Get back here. Actually, maybe I need to, just because I'm going hungry, beating this dude with my whip over and over. Alright. Let's get him to like half with the whip and then finish him. Jesus Christ. Alright, fuck you, imp. You win. Congratulations. You won that battle. Why are there so many imps? There must be like some impish fault here. Worth noting, we haven't gotten fed for a while. Like, we have permanent rations. It's just permafood you want to eat last, obviously, because it keeps forever and chunks rot, so you always want to be careful about that shit. We have 2 ID scrolls now, right? We have... Oh, see the mouse. I'm telling you, it's so hard. Hello, Crawl. Crawl. Speak to me, darling. Okay, there we go. That was really weird. 2 ID scrolls. Do we want to ID that red? No, because then we would just be IDing scrolls. I kind of like to, as another condition on IDing, not just, like, when there's a good potion to do, but I kind of like to have 3 things I want to identify. I'm going to order my ally. It's T to talk. We'll shout. Remember, shouting is loud. It will wake up stuff, but we don't really care. Attack him, and then I can walk away. But you're going to blink again because you're a coward. I'm doing this because that way if he dies, then I'm far away. That's how we're going to get mileage out of a summon as the hunter. So we're kind of looking. I'm suspecting there's going to be some sort of imp-themed vault. I don't think you can sneak attack with a bow, unfortunately. And we can attack him when he's sleeping, but I don't think we get a benefit at all. Oh, it's a kobold skeleton? You don't justify anything. Skeletons are quite weak compared to the normal monster version of them. Skeletons can be dangerous, like, only because you can get skeletons, you know, before, like, that kind of monster in general. But otherwise, it's very hard to be scared of a skeleton. I guess if you were, like, a necromancer, relying on like pain abilities. Iguana is one in a very, very long line of crawl enemies that has an innocuous name and is actually a motherfucker. Once again, knowledge bots. Let's go and show this off. Iguanas, 15 damage, but they have normal speed. So it's like a worm that can catch you. Iguana, the worm that can catch you. Well, of course, they are motherfuckers, but we are level 8, so I don't think it's going to matter. But respect iguanas. In fact, respect pretty much everything in Crawl. That's a really good thing to do, in general. Giant eyeballs. They're infamous because they can paralyze. We are actually pretty good about that because, first we can just kill them very quickly. There's an alt or two. Regdramel. We gotta wait till that clears the webs because, like, we can't shoot through webs. Oh, wow, I completely lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, we're pretty good with paralyzed because, being paralyzed obviously jacks up the tension a lot because it's awful. Ugh, we're near starving. We might actually need to eat some permafood. This sucks because normally you can get like small fruits or whatever, and you kind of eat them just enough to like keep above your margin while you're, oh sweet, adder corpse. We just need to kill, okay, you know what, I want to kill this giant frog really fast. I could start starving at any time. And like I said, you do get a few turns to get out of it, but I don't want to, fucking shit. I just want to eat, you monsters. So yeah, notice you gotta respect the centaurs. You gotta go around corners and like that. I mean, now it's good to know we get to eat as much as we want because there's all these corpses. These arrows of flames are hurting us too. I think. Oh no, I'm near starving. I can't do that. We lost one of our skulls to identify. I think we might need to drink a heal potion here. I don't know how much arrows of flame add off the top of my head though. So alright, here's what you do. You say centaur. 10, and then a bow. The base damage is 3 to 1d7, so it's 20 before the flame brand. We need to drink, I think, just curing, because we're right on the edge. We don't need to drink a full heal wounds. Although we have more heal wounds, and curing cures bad status conditions, and heal wounds does not, so actually I'm going to drink heal wounds anyway. But I think the health from curing would be enough. It's just that, yeah, and see there, we got the kill right away. Did we need to eat that? No, we didn't need to drink that. But you do in Crawl because sometime we would have needed to. And anyway, a bow of flame. Those weren't fire arrows. That was the bow. This is our bow now. Now imagine how embarrassed we would have been if we had not drank that potion. He got the max damage hit on us and we died, and we didn't get this bow. That's the thing about Crawl. You got to be conservative like that. We didn't need to do that, but we did. And we probably could have done it without the potion if I had been fuller, but I got to save the permafood by taking the gambit. So we're going to adjust this bow of flame to B. This is my new honey. Get out of here, you. We don't like you. Oh, I can go. I should have left. I'll just do it later. Like, ditch the dagger of draining on the previous floor. I'll just do it now, actually. Fuck it. I don't want it lugging around with me. I just don't want monsters using it on me. Doop, doop, doo, 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 doo. Alright, we got a bow of flame now. We're in business. Actually, for now, I want to keep this. We can give this to Mocklib. Because if there's an enemy who, like, resists flame or whatever, I don't know off the top of my head if that just means they'll resist the brand damage or if they'll resist, like, my whole shot because my whole shot gets coated as fire. So, to be safe. Hey, that is 4 different enemies. So, here's what we need to do. Kill this giant eyeball. Oh, he actually did paralyze us. But none of those monsters noticed us, so it was fine. We didn't even... Yeah, we need to kill him quickly. There we go. We can take on these guys, I think, pretty easy. We'll just, yeah, abuse our summon to get some distance. Oh, man, I'm really enjoying these cascades of flame we get now. I don't know when we got so many arrows. I guess from all these centaurs we've been killing. I just didn't notice exactly when we got them. Another thing, a lot of the gods that take blood sacrifices, how it works is that you get either 0 or 1 piety for a sacrifice as a random function. You know, some of these corpses are disappearing without a sign. That means we didn't get piety. And some are flaring and disappearing. That means we did. It's not like you really micro it. You just sacrifice everything and then eventually get there. The point is that generally, whether or not it's going to give you piety is like determined as a function of its hit dice minus your level. Hit dice is like the monster equivalent of a level, just like in Dungeons and Dragons. So the upshot of all this is if you have a choice between killing and eating that isn't like, because like normally we've been doing it by time, we eat when we're hungry, otherwise we sack. If you have like 4 corpses, you're going to need to eat one of them and sack the others. What you generally want to do is eat the weakest corpse and sack all the strongest ones. Like if I kill an ogre and a rat, I'm going to eat the rat and kill the ogre. The exception being, let's say I'm very starving and there's a rat and an ogre. I'm probably going to butcher the ogre and prey on the rat. Why? Ogres are bigger. I'm going to get more chunks out of it. If I think I'm going to need those multiple chunks, then at least I got one chance to play piety roulette on the rat. And the ogre, if I had sacked the ogre and ate the rat, I'd still be hungry, and I would need to waste another corpse. Alright, this is cool. I don't know why Nemlex and Okawaru have anything to talk about. Okawaru is the War Master god. Nemlex is the Trickster god where you use your evocations instead of invocations. Speaking of evocations, Wand. Let's try that out. Capital V to evoke. And we confused that giant frog. You'll notice now we got the 52 arrows. We're pretty much full-time archers. Sometimes like now, when it's really obvious that we're fine, we switch. Alright, so we've hit min delay on our bow. Like I said, we're going to want to train our bows past min delay, but now I'm willing to do, let's say, a 50-50 split of bows and invocations. It doesn't show, so spells have like spell power that they show, how many pips you have. Invocations don't have invocations power. I don't know if, like, leveling it up all the way to 27 will still give us benefit. I know it gives, like, health on summons. I don't know how high to train my invo. That's honestly just a gap in my crawl knowledge. And so, we're going to show off what happens when you do those. This isn't canned. Like, I'm actually legitimately not sure. So maybe we won't even learn what we're looking for, looking at the Maklo Whippy. But this is the kind of thing you'd want to do. So, alright. So, okay. So, the risk the demon will be hostile goes down with invocations. Although, like, it's a crazy progression. I think the stat is that to get a skill from level 0 to 20 takes as much experience to get it from level 22 to 27. And we see all it does is drop you from 8 to 4. But it does look like your invocations are always going to help. And the duration is determined by invo. Damage and accuracy is based on invo. Damage and accuracy is invo. It looks like we can probably go all the way to 27 if we want and get benefits for it. So that's really good to have kind of an uncapped skill. Bows are uncapped, but we've hit an inflection point for those of you who know math, which means it's still helping every level. It's still making us stronger, but it's not making us stronger by the same factor as it did when we didn't hit min delay. So now that we've hit min delay, we're kind of okay with... We always pretty much want to be given some to bow unless we really get a good spell that completely becomes our bread and butter. But now we don't need to focus it like we were. And in fact, I'm probably okay with throwing a third skill into this mix now. We definitely wanted to rush our bows. Now we want to rush some other stuff. What I'm going to do, because the first few skill levels are very easy and cheap, is I'm going to just grab a couple of ranks of stealth, help us pick our battles. Remember when we saw that giant eyeball? And we fought it, then we went around the corner, we saw those 4 enemies, and we ducked back, and it paralyzed us, but it didn't matter, because no one could see us. That was lucky. We want to turn that from being lucky to being stealthy. So that's what we're going to do. There's the temple I was talking about. So now you can see, probably it was wise to go for Makleb, because we can already summon demons, and otherwise we would have just been choosing our god. Well, actually, if I hadn't picked Makleb, I probably would have went to Phaedos when we found that Phaedos shrine. Actually, we found, what is this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 gods outside of temple, before temple? That's really quite rare. We're going to pop in. Temple, also no monsters can spawn. It's a good place to make a stash. I'm stupid. I like to had explored it, just to mark it on my little thing there, because I'm an idiot. Yeah, we want to walk around with our bow like all the time now. Ooh, another ring. It's tubular. I want to put it on. Wing of Wizardry. So that basically means our spell failure chance goes down. It's really cool. We don't have any spells yet, though. That's a problem. But someday we're going to have spells, and oh boy. That rat does not deserve an arrow, but he's interrupting my fast traveling with his very being. Okay. An ogre zombie. Zombies are kind of annoying, because... So the reason that you know how healthy something is, notice you get the qualitative. You see, like, severely wounded, partially wounded. Because he's just like a rotting hunk of flesh. I don't get that, because what am I going to say? You look severely wounded. Your parts are falling off. They were falling off before, you racist prick. Like, you know? So, you kind of don't know. I actually had quite an embarrassing death on an amazing character, where I didn't go my full damage, or I didn't run. I didn't run from a Hydra zombie, because I'm like, he's going to die next hit, he's going to die next hit, and he wasn't. But I couldn't see his health. Food shops are pretty much the worst shops. Having said that, we are going to buy... No, we're not even going to buy. We find enough food in the ground. We'll find it soon enough. Like I was saying, it's nice to have a little bit of food so that if you're near starving, right, you don't eat a big ration right away if you know you're going to get chunks. You just eat little fruit and wait for a chunk. And you save your permanent food if you're like a labyrinth or somewhere where you don't think you're going to be getting food for a while. So that's a good reason to get... Oh. Giant spores will blow up on you and confuse you, and they suck. We kill them from range. Oh, these actually we can just beat to death with our whip, though. They take forever to kill fungal colonies, but you get experience when you clear the whole colony. We're going to keep increasing our int, as I have said. Our toenails are longer now. Hooray! I forgot the tangent I was on now. I got so distracted with that. It'll come to me, I think. Oh, right, with the food. And I was just saying how you kind of want that just to round off hunger. But you find enough food on the ground in the dungeon that will happen soon enough. Oh. See? I couldn't quite see that guy anymore. So it defaulted targeting me, but when I said yes, it didn't shoot myself. It said, "Are you sure you want to shoot yourself?" Which was nice to ask, because I didn't. That guy in the chain, he's an orc warrior. Orc warriors are serious business. Luckily that wizard hasted himself and not the warrior. Okay. Oh yeah, another important thing to note. You see how it said his eyes start to glow? That's called a cantrip. If it like has a weird message that doesn't look like it meant anything, it probably didn't. How it works is that, like, if he has a magic dart spell, you can get these guys on level 1, right? Your first level character. If they get magic darted every turn, that's crazy. That's so much damage for level 1. But they don't want to give this guy like a weird 1 damage magic dart, because what the fuck is that? So what they do instead is they put these spells in the spell book that do nothing. And so the orc wizard's like, I'm going to cast a spell. Its AI decides, what should I cast? And sometimes it picks, I'm going to cast nothing. And that's how they balance out spellcasters. Rather than giving these weird proto-nerf spells, the earliest spellcasters just have spells that do nothing. And then as you go on, all the spellcasters will have real spells that do real things. So we're at an impasse involving this orc warrior. We have a few options. We could go to the staircase. It is... We're going to use that trick again to show off. There's one there, there's one there, there's one there. Decently far away. Because we can just kind of have this wizard screen for us while we do it. And then we could fight him, rest, and fight the warrior. What I'm going to try to do first is I'm going to just shoot, because this will kill the wizard, and I'm hoping to miss the wizard once or twice. Like I said, where the guy who doesn't do much damage is screening for you. That's what we're going to do. Oh, but they just switched. What dickheads. Okay. So now, we have a few options. We could throw down a servant. We will lose some piety, which is a shame, but this could be a dangerous fight if we're not careful. His weapon is not glowing, though. That's good. Actually, there's going to be another digression. You can calculate the damage if it's not, like, glowing, because we know it's not, like, a weird magic-branded weapon. So let's see. We got an orc warrior, and he's using an orcish war axe. Alright. We can work with that. Orc warrior. What damage you got? 20 base damage. Alright. Orcish war axe. Okay, it doesn't get its own, so we'll just use normal war axe. Damage 11. And see, people just leave stupid jokes in the IRC. You're not in a war, per se. You're in a dungeon. Alright. So that's 33 damage. We can take 1 max damage hit. We can't take 2. So I want to be making these tough decisions now instead of when I've taken that first max damage hit. I think Lesser Servant of Makleb is the play. And we use him. We try to have him screen for us and get us some distance, or at least get some free hits. We've got a nice square room here. We can kind of circle kite around our summon. So let's give this a shot. Lesser Servant of Makleb. Alright, see, he appeared behind us. That is really unfortunate. I was really hoping for him to be here, but he's not. What kind of MR does this guy have? I don't think... Okay, you can't look. For us, we can look. Like, we can see our magic resist is... Crawl's not responding. Why is Webtiles doing this? I might cut this run a little early. Make a shorter video because I'm getting... Oh, never mind. Just because I was stuck in look. Not Crawl's fault. I just didn't get out of the look menu. Okay. So we're not resistant at all. But for the monsters, we can't just check that stat like we can for us. We check here. Orc Warrior. He has a tiny bit of magic resist. And we don't have any evocations. But because this summon means we have the inevitability, sort of. Like, what kind of guy is this? A Hellwing. He looks extremely dangerous. That means he's quite, like, high level relative to what we are right now. He's really good. Which is, I mean, it's fair. We had to pay Piety for that. Like, we're going to have to sack corpses to make up for that. So it's fair that he's really good, unlike our Guardians. So I think the play, because we have inevitability, is the Wand of Confusion. Especially because it's really nice to use status effect wands early, like Confusion, Slowing, you know, that kind of thing. Because monsters' MR will go up as they level. So pretty soon, these wands aren't going to be worth the turn it takes to zap them. Just perfectly bluntly, it'll be such a low chance to succeed that we'll have way better options. So let's burn out the charges of these wands now, and they'll actually do something for us. So we missed... Oh, we didn't miss with him. We hit him and he resisted, and then the Orc Wizard looks unstable because the Hellwing gestured at him, so he's going to teleport. Look who came around the corner. Fucking all the douchebags are out today. So now, the game plan changes slightly. Now the game plan is to first break LOS with this priest. So we're going to get into this hallway, and hopefully just the Hellwing gets shit done for us. He's already teleporting the Orc Wizard out of here. Or just killing him. Alright, we're going to take one shot now because the priest can't see us, and we've got this corner available to us anytime. Rad. Okay. I don't know why he stopped there. I think maybe it's just because my bow is at min delay, so maybe my shoot move kind of got to get priority on him. I'm not going to complain, though. That was just really cool. And because of that, we can get another shot off. He appears unharmed from my arrow of flame. What the fuck? What a dick. Alright. We can survive one hit guaranteed. Now I think is the time. I really wanted to stress earlier, you don't just want to say, fuck it, let's race. Because what happens if you're halfway through and you're losing, right? Now is a time. We have a Hellwing coming on the rear. Now I'm willing to say we can just race this guy. Alright, he hit us. Okay, he hit us, but he did no damage. There we go. Now our Hellwing is here. There we go. Now we break line of sight with the Orc Priest. See now, remember when I was saying earlier, we can shoot at our imp. I don't give a shit about shooting at our imp. Now I'm not going to shoot my Hellwing. I'm going to just trust my Hellwing. Okay, the Orc Priest disappeared. Yay! That was a really fun fight. Orc packs are serious business. I mean, I know our health never really got that low, but it's only because we took the Orc pack seriously from the very beginning. There's that glowing dagger. I think we got hit with it once, didn't we? This is Control P, by the way. This is another example. I think I've used this quite a few times. I never said it. Sorry if I didn't. It's Control P. It's just a log. And I'm just curious if we ever got hit with that glowing dagger or not. Because it actually matters in a weird way. Oh no, this is too far, I think. Yeah, here we go. This is when I took out the bow. I saw the wizard. I'm shooting the wizard. He speeds up. He looks braver. I have a Lemure. The wizard. A demon appears. I feel... Okay, so this is where I summoned. Where as the demon appears, he feels slightly more hungry. So before this was the pregame and I was just kind of pelting. I think this is when I saw the warrior. And I'm in the hallway and I'm like, alright, it's demon time. So I summon the demon. And this is where I think the Orc Wizard hit me once. Yeah, he hit me with the glowing dagger. So this dagger isn't like flaming or freezing or draining or distortion. I think, yeah. Basically, I think we don't need to actually hoard this dagger or even try wielding it. Because it's probably just like, the glowingness is probably just an enchantment to its pluses and minuses. It's probably not an elemental dagger because it hit us. We have this Hellwing for a little while longer. I don't really care. Times when you will care. If you're so here's a big example actually. Um, in the Lair of Beasts, actually let me phrase this in a different order. You may as well fight him now though. Fuck it. Do my work. Oh shit! I'm already at 4 pips, and I got Greater Destruction. So you see, the piety hit isn't that big from a summon. I'm still, going up fast. It just actually I probably shouldn't. I should have taken those myself because I think I get less experience, like I said earlier. But whatever. I was too busy thinking about this thing I wanted to say, which is that if I'm playing a Troll Monk, whereas on a Hunter, Mokleb is kind of this guy that's like, it's not that good, but it was really early. I wanted to try it. On a Troll Monk, Mokleb's like my go-to. Because Troll Monks are great, but they need to do shit at range. And Hydras, you need something by Hydras, because you rely on your unarmed combat as a Troll. But your claws are slashing weapons, so Hydras will grow new heads. So you claw at the Hydra, and it grows new heads, and it eats you with those new heads, and you are sad. So Mokleb is great for that. And particularly what you do is you get his summons to fight the Hydras. However, as you can imagine, you don't want to burn all your piety for every Hydra. So this does matter the duration, because you get a one, and you try to like bring your one demon pal to kill just as many goddamn Hydras as you can. One time on one really memorably stupid Troll Monk run, I literally went and I penned like 3 Hydras like running. Look at me, look at me, look at me, just to summon the Greater Servant and have him kill all the Hydras for only the 1 piety hit. He can't fall me down the stairs when we cleared, so it doesn't matter now. So yeah, so that's something to keep in mind. Sometimes you're gonna want to try to maximize their summon. Here we're like, whatever, bro, floor's clear. And actually, I think I'm gonna call it now, just because that orc pack was kind of a fun little moment. It's a nice down point. I want to make these not all be as long as that first one was, so they're kind of easier to watch in chunks. But yeah, we're still keeping on keeping on. That early Q mutation, that's really cool now that we can just drink potions when we find them. In fact, we're gonna end this video fucking victory chugging. Fuck the police. It's a potion of degeneration. Oh man, degeneration's temporary, right? Otherwise, this would be super embarrassing if I forgot about degeneration. Oh no, I think I just trained my stat forever, and it's by 4. This is why you don't victory chug, guys. Alright, we're gonna just reverse victory chug and get our dexterity back. Alright, final moment. I can do this! That's the crawl experience. Hubris followed by regret. But, yeah, that Ring of Wizardry is also a way bigger find than I made it out to be. Because, like I said, we want to audible into spellcasting, and that lets you kind of go immediately get online with your spells. So if we find, like, a Translocations book, oh my god, are we made. We're already pretty well off just because this fucking bow. Like, we got a fire bow already? Things are great, and I am happy. And next time, maybe the joy will turn to sorrow in my mouth. Stay tuned and find out.